So all along, when we thought maybe Blake wanted the rights, I mean, she might end up being the director, right? But in all utter reality, maybe Colleen Hoover did not want to give up her rights to the second film.
It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, you know, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. Like, that's what I'm doing.
Colleen Hoover spent months scheming to push Justin Baldoni out and reclaim the rights to her book. And as you'll soon see, she was completely unhinged about it. She didn't care if Baldoni's reputation got dragged through the mud. She was set on taking him down, no matter the cost. And with Blake Lively backing her, she pulled off one of the shadiest moves Hollywood's ever seen. Backing Blake's claims with absolutely no evidence, and stealing the project right out from under Justin. And now, with all the heat on her, she's retiring? That's pure diabolical. From avoiding accountability for her son's alleged sexual scandal to plotting behind Justin's back, Colleen's actions have been downright jaw-dropping. But is this really the end for her, or is she just trying to escape the storm of public humiliation? Hold tight! We're about to expose the unexposed. To give some quick context, back in 2019, before It Ends With Us became the massive sensation it is now, Justin Baldoni saw the magic in Colleen's book and reached out to her personally. They exchanged emails where he went on and on about how romantic, beautiful, and tragic the story was. Justin was all in long before the TikTok hype hit, and Colleen was clearly eating it up. She responded immediately, thrilled that Justin had such pure intentions for her book. She was so invested in the idea of Justin adapting her work that she even suggested he play Ryle, the main male lead. And guess what? Fast forward to casting, and Colleen was the one who recommended Blake for the role, since she was apparently a fan, and Justin followed through. Blake wasn't the only one who managed to twist Justin's arm until he caved. Colleen had already done the same thing. Justin Baldoni might come across as all nice and friendly, but he seriously needs to stop trying to please everyone. Anyway, here's the thing. Everything was fine between Colleen and Justin until Kelsey and her dragons entered the picture. Then, in what can only be described as a straight-up betrayal, Colleen did a complete 180 on Justin. She suddenly started backing Blake Lively, who, let's not forget, hadn't even read the book before landing the role. Blake didn't even know who Colleen was at the time. And yet, this is the person Colleen chose to defend, without a shred of evidence. Now, with the storm of backlash hitting her, what does she do? Deletes her social media and pretends like she wasn't part of the mess. It gets worse. While Colleen was upstairs with the rest of the cast, Justin and his family were literally locked in the basement on that fateful day. Betrayal doesn't even begin to cover it. Fans have been dragging Colleen for throwing Justin under the bus like that, all for the sake of a bigger name walking into the room. And now that everything has exploded, she didn't even have the decency to address it. Instead, she just vanished from Instagram. Oh, but wait. Turns out Blake wasn't the only one being tone-deaf with her promotions. Would you believe that the woman who claims her book is based on her parents' real-life marriage tried to release an It Ends With Us coloring book? Yes, seriously, a coloring book about real-life trauma and serious issues. Fans absolutely lost it, and she had to yank it back ASAP. Many people suspected she was bitter that she sold the rights before the book blew up and didn't make as much money as she could have. And naturally, Justin wasn't about to hand the rights back to her. Looking back, it seems like this may have been the turning point where Colleen started to resent Justin, especially since he was now making more money than she was. But unlike Blake Lively, Colleen did at least try to save face by pulling down the coloring book after getting called out. However, trust me, that's not even the worst of her ongoing drama, folks. Whispers are swirling about Colleen's son allegedly assaulting a 16-year-old girl after meeting her on Snapchat, fully aware that she was still in high school. The teen claims she reached out to Colleen about it, and instead of acting like a responsible adult, Colleen blocked her. Can you believe that? A woman who writes about abuse and trauma just silenced a victim because it was her own son involved. How does that even make sense? Of course, when Colleen was finally contacted, she defended her son, insisting the story was distorted and that the 16-year-old had twisted the facts. We talked about it. I apologized to her, thanked her for bringing it up, and offered to give her our home address and lawyer info if she wanted. I made sure to hold my son accountable for sending inappropriate messages, she said. Oh, and the word on the street is that this whole mess is exactly why Colleen deleted her Instagram in the first place. The story resurfaced just when she was defending Blake without any evidence. Here's the kicker. This is the same woman who built her entire career on writing about survivors of abuse. But when it's her turn to do the right thing, she's nowhere to be found. Whether it's the drama with Justin, the mess with Blake Lively, or the troubling accusations involving her son, Colleen Hoover is looking more and more shady by the day. The internet is definitely not holding back. This is no longer about a book adaptation. It's about someone who claims to champion survivors but consistently makes choices that scream the opposite. And don't even get me started on how she just dipped from social media the second things got real. It's left her looking like someone who can't take accountability or even face her problems head on. We're just getting started, people. Buckle up because things are about to get even wilder. It Ends With Us has a chain of problems, and it all starts with the author herself. More receipts are dropping, and they're making everything look even worse by the second. Let's dive into how Colleen Hoover and Blake Lively allegedly teamed up to completely pull the rug out from under Justin Baldoni and snatch the rights to the book right from his grasp. It all kicked off when people were caught completely off guard by Colleen. Out of nowhere, she hopped onto social media to shower Blake with glowing praise after Justin got blasted for allegedly essaying her on set. But looking at it now, it seems like a complete fabrication. She called Blake honest, kind, supportive, patient, and even thanked her for being a nice human. Come on, really? Hold on, though. Let's take a step back and process this. This is the same Blake Lively who's been accused of running the whole film production into the ground just to take control for herself. The same Blake who, according to leaked behind-the-scenes details, was way more focused on the movie's aesthetic than actually doing justice to the book's soul. She allegedly came in just to flex her Hollywood muscles and bullied her way into getting an entire scene changed. Complete chaos.
Tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, think of the ladies I can have. This is a horrible thing to say.
What chance that you can have a what?
A sequence, like it starts with this.
Oh.
If Colleen has her rights, I'll go anywhere. I'll follow this woman anywhere.
And this is who Colleen calls a nice human? Yeah, that definitely doesn't sit right with a lot of people. The narrative Blake's pushing about Justin, if that were even remotely true, there's no way that more people wouldn't have spoken up by now. Crew members, cast members, anyone. But nope, it's crickets. The truth is, it's Blake who's got a pile of accusations trailing her for decades. So, here's the thing. Blake has been leading the charge against Justin. And Colleen? She's right behind her, following her every word. And you know what? Fans are starting to think Colleen might just be trying to stay in Hollywood's good books. Others are speculating that Colleen was frustrated because Justin wasn't making her the kind of money she could have gotten if someone like Blake was running the show. Whatever the reason, it's looking more and more like Colleen made a huge mistake. And it's one she might not be able to walk back. At this point, Colleen Hoover knows she brought this storm down on herself. You can't just side with the Hollywood elite and expect people to turn a blind eye, especially when the internet isn't as easily manipulated anymore. People are catching on, and Colleen has learned that lesson the hard way. Look at what happened with Jennifer Lopez and other celebrities who thought they could just do whatever they wanted without consequences. Oh no. People are waking up, and Colleen is now feeling the heat. She thought she could pull this off, but it's clear she's underestimated how much the public sees through these games. There's also footage that has raised suspicion, suggesting that Colleen was actively plotting behind Justin's back. During a CNN interview with Blake Lively, when asked about a potential sequel, Blake casually dropped the bombshell that she'd be on board. If Colleen had the rights. Now, hold up. Last time we checked, those rights belonged to Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios. So how exactly was Colleen acting like she had a leg to stand on in this situation? It's all a little too convenient. What exactly were Colleen and Blake whispering behind closed doors that the rest of the world didn't know? Colleen, sitting there all calm and comfortable, as Blake made what could only be called a diabolical statement about getting the rights back from Justin, was just suspicious. The entire exchange seemed like a subtle nod to the fact that Colleen might have been in on some shady plan to wrest control of the movie away from Baldoni. And let's not forget, by this point, Colleen and Blake had already tried every trick in the book to get Justin to sell the rights, but Justin didn't budge. And surprise, surprise, just after this PR stunt, Colleen quietly launched her own production company, Heart Bones Entertainment. Oh yeah, it's all adding up. Then in October, Variety dropped a little bombshell, another Colleen Hoover movie deal in the works. She and her partner were starting a whole new production company to handle future adaptations of her books. Why would she do that if she didn't expect to wrest control of the rights back from Justin? Sounds like a whole lot of plotting going on behind the scenes. Let's not forget one key detail. In the same month, Colleen made a major legal move by switching to a top-tier law firm that represents A-list stars like Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt. This wasn't just some random business decision. No. It was a calculated strategy. They were gearing up for a major power play, to strip Justin Baldoni of the rights to her book, only for those rights to fall into the hands of Colleen's newly formed company. Talk about a move that's just too convenient. Now, let's connect the dots. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have money. They have clout. If they wanted to get involved in Colleen's business, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they might have helped orchestrate a plan to push Justin out. Think about it. If Colleen and Blake were already scheming to get her rights back in August, but Justin still legally held on to them, it's pretty clear something was going on behind closed doors. And now, we're diving into the real twist. This is where things get seriously sinister, folks. We're about to break down why Blake used the harassment claim against Justin. Trust me, it wasn't by chance. No, this was all part of a calculated strategy, and the evidence is in plain sight. When Justin first bought the rights to Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us, a morality clause was baked into that contract. If you're unfamiliar with morality clauses, they're standard in these kinds of deals. Just think of how Diddy lost his keys to the city after getting hit with allegations. If someone is accused of something shady, especially something as serious as sexual assault, that deal is over. And this clause was clear. If Justin were ever accused of SA, the rights to the book would automatically revert back to Colleen. And who would Colleen give those rights to? None other than Blake Lively, of course. Can you see where this is going now? Blake's lawsuit against Justin using that exact clause wasn't a coincidence. They were playing the game smart, hitting him with the one accusation that could legally force his removal. Once that bombshell dropped, everything else fell into place. His agency dropped him, the industry turned on him in an instant, and suddenly, Colleen and Blake were free to do whatever they wanted with the project. That's right. This was a calculated hit, an underhanded business move disguised as a number Me Too moment. Now everything makes sense. Colleen Hoover isn't nearly as innocent as she might want us to believe.
And he's like, I mean, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have one on my list. I don't have anyone on my list.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
A lot of it's my real life clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some.
Wait, that's kind of amazing.
Here's one final piece of proof, loves. A whole Reddit thread from someone claiming to be a member of the It Ends With Us crew. And get this. This wasn't some random gossip that came out after the fact. This info dropped 4 months before the public even caught wind of any supposed issues on set. Sounds like this was planned down to the last detail. Let's break this down, and I swear you'll be stunned at how everything checks out. Here's the gist. Blake Lively reportedly felt uncomfortable around Justin Baldoni, especially after he allegedly told her she looked sexy in her outfit on set. Meanwhile, Justin wasn't happy with the initial cut of It Ends With Us, so he hired his own editing team to fix it. Blake, not getting her way, asked Sony if she could bring in her own editing team too. Sony said no. But instead of letting it go, Blake supposedly threatened to go public with accusations of sexual harassment, taking the story to the New York Times unless Sony gave her control over the project. In a panic, Sony caved, banning Justin from the studio and giving Blake full creative control. But things didn't go as planned. Blake brought in her own team of editors, including Taylor Swift's music video crew while she was working on another project in Italy. And guess what? The film turned into a chaotic mess. Realizing the disaster, Blake had to bring in a professional editor to fix the damage. On top of that, when Taylor Swift found out the film's composer was someone she had a bad history with, she gave Sony an ultimatum. It's him or me. Sony, of course, chose Taylor, firing the composer, which only added to the mayhem surrounding the movie. Loves, it's starting to look like this whole thing was planned from the beginning. These people were out to destroy Justin's reputation for nothing more than greed. Had they succeeded in booting him out, Colleen would have been sitting pretty with her shiny new production company, Heartbones Entertainment, all set up, while Blake took control of the project the way she wanted. This whole thing reeks of manipulation, greed, and power moves dressed up as some moral crusade. And don't even get me started on the timing. Blake files her lawsuit, Colleen rushes to back her up, and then Justin hits back with solid proof. And Colleen? She goes radio silent. But wait. Just when the situation was escalating, Justin's attorney, Brian Friedman, drops a bombshell. He starts talking about subpoenas, about how even their private digital messages could be on the table in court. And what happens next? January 22nd rolls around, and poof, Colleen's Instagram is gone, vanished. Like she knew something big was about to go down and she needed to clean house before anyone could start digging into her online history. What exactly was she hiding? This isn't just about a book adaptation anymore. No. This is all about power, control, and greed. Colleen Hoover didn't just want to sit back and watch her book become a movie. She wanted more. More power, more influence, more say in how her stories would unfold on the big screen. When the opportunity to take control presented itself, she pounced. The breadcrumbs are everywhere, and no amount of Instagram deletions or digital scrubbing will wipe away the fact that this whole situation reeks of a well-orchestrated attempt to take down Justin Baldoni. And the drama keeps getting juicier. Just when we thought the mess with Justin, Blake, and Colleen couldn't get any more intense, here comes another bombshell. Colleen Hoover's reportedly retiring. But hold on. Before you start celebrating, there's a twist. Not everyone is jumping on the cancel Colleen bandwagon. Word on the street is that Colleen might not be entirely guilty in all this. There's chatter that Blake may have played a much bigger role in this mess than anyone realized. Some believe Blake manipulated Colleen, feeding her stories about how Justin allegedly made her feel uncomfortable on set. Imagine this scenario. Blake, playing the distressed damsel, pulls Colleen aside and says, "Girl, I don't know what to do. Justin's been making me so uncomfortable. But if I speak out, it could ruin everything we've worked for. I know how important this movie is to you, Colleen. I just want to protect you from the truth." If this is how it went down, Colleen could have genuinely thought she was doing the right thing. But let's not forget the bigger picture. What if Blake was secretly stirring the pot behind the scenes? What if she was whispering in the ears of other cast members like Brandon Schlendler, who plays Atlas, telling them all about how shady Justin supposedly was, hyping up their careers and positioning herself as the solution to all their problems? It would be a classic case of Hollywood manipulation. Get everyone on her side, throw Justin under the bus, and position herself as the one who's fighting for what's right. This whole thing reeks of backstabbing, manipulation, and calculated moves, straight out of a Hollywood thriller. But here's where it gets even juicier. What if this entire mess wasn't just about a movie at all? What if it was all part of a bigger scheme for Blake and Colleen to seize control? By the time the dust settles, Colleen's quietly retreated from the public eye, allegedly stepping away from her social media presence. The whispers are that she regrets getting tangled in the drama, especially now that everything's falling apart. Is Colleen Hoover really retiring, or is she just scrambling to disappear before even more explosive receipts come to light? You decide. At this point, Blake Lively's starting to look like the true mastermind behind the entire mess. The web of lies, manipulation, and the perfect timing of those allegations is all starting to unravel. And if Colleen really is stepping away, it could be because everything's backfiring in a way none of them anticipated. What we know for sure is this. Justin Baldoni came in with pure intentions, but Colleen Hoover and Blake Lively were scheming from the start. From Colleen flipping on Justin without a shred of proof, to the shady, under-the-table moves to steal Justin's rights, this whole situation stinks to high heaven. So, what do you think? Was Colleen just another pawn in Blake's twisted game? Or did she have her own agenda the entire time? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to smash that notification bell for more deep dives and the latest jaw-dropping updates on this wild saga involving a B-list actress, her 2 dragons, and a whole lot of Hollywood backstabbing. Catch you in the next one.